It's time! 5 rounds in every damn division, bro. 5 rounds in every freaking division this weekend. UFC 250. Excuse me, 259. I just fucked up. Excuse me. 259, man. It is time. 3 title fights in one night, man. I'm going to break down the three title fights just because, like, I know, like, the other 2 fights on the main card are cool and all, but let's just cut to brass tacks. I mean, we all know what we are here for. We are here for the main events. Well, really, these are, like, basically 3 main events because all of these fights could have headlined their own card. Damn, man. It is pretty cool. I'm definitely going to be catching it live. I'm going to give my predictions and also just give a quick breakdown of each matchup. Starting with Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling on a 5-fight win streak after he was knocked out by Marlon Moraes. Has been on fire. Submitted Cody Sandhagen in, like, I think 30 seconds, which kind of cemented his road to the championship and things like that. Man, he looks so good. I know he's been training at the PI, trains at the Cerro Longo gym as well. Extremely strong jiu-jitsu, a black belt. Looks really good, man. But Yan, of course, is nothing to be messed with. Was able to take out Jose Aldo, win the title, getting ready to defend it for his first time. Looks absolutely amazing. I mean, such a strong guy. It's going to be an interesting fight. I mean, I think when you think about how unorthodox Aljamain is, I mean, he's throwing wild, crazy kicks. He has this weird, awkward way of moving in and out, but he still has really strong wrestling, amazing grappling. I mean, we know that he loves to freaking do the backpack. He is the backpack boy. Shout out to all my jiu-jitsu players out there. Even though I'm still very early in my jiu-jitsu training, I'm not gonna lie, I love when you can get the backpack on somebody. Even when you're just, like, messing around, it is a very, very satisfying thing to have the backpack on someone. So for me, I think this fight definitely doesn't go the distance. I would be picking Aljamain Sterling, taking it. I would probably say by submission, probably in, like, the second round, maybe first or second round. I just don't think that he's gonna play any games. He looks hungry. He looks focused. There really weren't a ton of, like, silly antics and things like that between either of these guys. I mean, really the entire card was just full of, like, super professionalism. Everyone just looked super serious, super focused. It was just about, look, I'm here to handle business. I'm here to either make my legacy, improve my legacy, or change the game. You know what I'm saying? So, really interested to see it, to see how this plays out. And I literally just finished watching the press conference. It was very small things. It does kind of suck that the smaller guys don't really get the same amount of love that like the middleweights, lightweights, heavyweights do. Like, well, I think just welterweight, lightweight on, I would say, like, gets, like, a ton of respect, but then the smaller guys don't really get that same level of respect. Obviously, like, you had Henry with the whole Triple C thing and all this other stuff. But a lot of the smaller guys really don't get a ton of love, but especially in the press conferences, because I feel like Israel Adesanya was, like, the main focus. They threw a couple questions here or there to Aljo and to Yan, but it really was more about, can Izzy be the double champion, things like that. But yeah, if I had to pick, I'm definitely going with Aljamain Sterling just because he looked so impressive against Cody Sandhagen. I mean, got in on him, got the backpack on him, submitted him super duper fast. I don't think it's going to be an easy fight for him, but I feel like if he's able to get it to the ground, land his kicks, it's definitely going to be a triumph for the young lion. Number 2, now this one is extremely compelling just because when you looked at the stare down, Megan Anderson is so fucking tall, bro. Like, she is long, tall, has a solid ground game, really strong striking, throws good kicks. I mean, she is the total package and is a natural featherweight fighter. She actually cuts down to make weight. I mean, a lot of the girls that were in the UFC, a lot of them went up, especially when Cyborg was in the game. I know Holly went up. I think Jermaine Durandamine went up. A good majority of the ladies that were fighting at the 145-pound division in the women's division were going up as opposed to actually naturally fighting at that weight, besides like Cyborg. Even Amanda had to bulk up a little bit to get to that weight class, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to be interesting. I mean, she's much taller than Amanda, really long arms, long legs, strong jiu-jitsu game. I think obviously, like, Amanda is one of those champions that she doesn't seem like she stops and smells the roses at all. And by that I mean, like, if you look at her celebration versus Cyborg, she was like, "Hey Dana, like, you need to put me in the UFC Hall of Fame now." She's not talking crazy. She's not wearing all this fresh ice. She's not driving in these like super crazy designer cars and things like that, which she probably could afford. But she's just seems like the humblest of humble people. She's here to stake her claim as the female GOAT, and honestly getting to the point where she is just the GOAT of all GOATs. I think that she'll probably be able to defend her title. This is probably going to go to a decision. I think it's going to be an all-out war, 5 hard rounds by both of these ladies. I think Amanda will edge her out just a little bit in the end. But Anderson is no slouch, man. So this is going to be a great fight. If she's able to beat her, that is outstanding. I mean, she earned it. And then they'll have an immediate rematch, which brings more parity into that weight class. And hopefully they'll be able to bring some more bigger girls into that weight class in the near future. Because there's a lot of girls. I mean, there's girls like Megan. I'm sure there's other girls at that weight in other promotions that they could bring up. And if Megan's able to beat her, then it'll definitely be warranted for more people to get up in that weight class. If Amanda does win, however, I would love to see her go down to, I think it was 125 to fight Valentina for the 3rd time for that belt so she could become triple champion. If I was the UFC, that's what I would do. I'd be like, look, can you cut to 125? Let's see, like, we want to see you versus Shevchenko a 3rd time, because, I mean, both of those fights were freaking amazing. Both of those fights. If you haven't watched those fights, like, I implore you, go back and watch those fights. Those fights are freaking ridiculously good. So, yeah, I would say Amanda takes it after this fight. If she does take it, then I would say go down to 125 to fight Valentina. Because I think, like, it would be amazing if she's able to hold 3 belts at once if she beats Valentina, or lose to Valentina and just have another war so they can keep that rivalry going, because they make amazing fights together. All right, and now it's time for the main event of the evening. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. I'm not gonna do the whole thing. I'm sorry. I was gonna do it, but I'm like, I don't have those Bruce Buffer lungs. But anyway, Jan Blachowicz, and in the blue corner, Israel, the last style bender, Adesanya. I'm not gonna lie, like, Bruce Buffer has like the greatest job in the world, just like getting to freaking yell people's names. Anyway, Jan Blachowicz versus Israel, the last style bender, Adesanya, is actually the favorite to win this. Obviously, like, his martial arts skill, his kickboxing skill, I can definitely understand. I mean, his ground game is much better than people give him credit for. Even if you just look at his last couple fights, and I'm gonna talk on Jan in a second, but his fight versus, when he came in the UFC, fought Vittori, got taken down a couple times. Then he fought. So he fought 1, 2, 3. Fought about like 3 fights in UFC. Then he fought Brunson. Wasn't able to get taken down in that fight really at all. Then he fought Silva. Then he fought Gastelum. Didn't get taken down in that fight. Fought Robert Whittaker. There were no takedown attempts. Then he fought Yoel Romero. When he did get taken down, he popped right back up. Paulo Costa didn't even attempt to take down on him. Like, he's a much better grappler than people give him credit for. In the Gastelum fight, he was throwing up triangles. One time where Kelvin went for a lazy shot, He snatched him up in another choke. I mean, he's obviously he's not like a freaking Damian Maia type of grappler where he's just going to be like threatening submissions, or like a Nate Diaz type of grappler where he's like this high level guy where you can't even don't even want to take him down. That's still your best bet if you're gonna beat the guy, but it's still gonna be extremely hard because he has a very strong jiu-jitsu game. For me, obviously, like, it's gonna be stick and move for Izzy, stick and move, and people keep talking about the size for Izzy, which is weird because in kickboxing he's fought at heavyweight before, he fought at light heavyweight and won, so I think it's definitely possible. And Blachowicz, I mean, he's extremely strong, but Izzy has been doing well against the perceived really strong guys. He's been picking them apart. Nice strong jab, nice right and left hook, ambidextrous, switches stance really well, is able to control the octagon extremely well. So it's going to be a tall order for Blachowicz. I mean, obviously he has that one punch knockout power, but is he going to get the chance? You know what I'm saying? Is he going to get the chance? Like we've seen, and I don't hate to compare him to this guy, but we've seen Anderson Silva go up in weight, fight at heavyweight, knock out Forrest Griffin, and even when he fought DC, I think it was he hit him with like either a tornado kick or just like a regular round kick to the body, and DC was in some serious trouble of getting knocked out, and he ended up having to just take him down and grind it out. So the smaller guys definitely have a place in the heavier weight classes, because a lot of those like 185ers walk around at 205, some of them like 210. Costa's like big as shit, he walks around at like 220. Romero kind of same kind of thing. I think Izzy walks around at maybe 200 flat, or maybe like 201 or something like that, when he's just like doing whatever. So it's gonna be fun to see those guys fight. Blachowicz, obviously, I mean, warrior spirit. He's the guy that you want to root for, man. I mean, everything against him, multiple losses on his record, was able to battle back, grind and grit and claw his way back to the title, something that Gustafsson was never able to do, something that Rumble was not able to do when John Jones left, because Daniel Cormier was there, obviously. So it's something that a lot of fighters don't get the chance to do, or if they taste that one little bit of success, they just go straight down after that. But he's taken his lumps and was able to beat the odds-on favorite in Dominic Reyes, knocking him out, man. And it's going to be hard. It is going to be hard as hell for Izzy to beat this guy. If Jan wins, then I would definitely say probably calling out John Jones. I know he knocked out Corey Anderson. He knocked out Reyes. There are a couple guys in the light heavyweight division, but if he wanted the money fight, it would definitely be trying to get John Jones back to 205, which I doubt will happen, because John is the A side in that situation. Whereas if Izzy was to win, then Izzy would be the A side in the John Jones situation. Because John Jones is really just moving. I mean, he's really just moving up for the money, because there's really no money fights in 205. No one really wants to see him fight 205 unless it would be someone like Izzy. But man, of course I got my money on Izzy, just because fan of his, man. He represents a lot of people that aren't the most physically intimidating, that aren't the most physically gifted. I mean, he is a guy that is just extremely technical. Yes, he's tall, but he's not a imposing force. I mean, he's a slim guy, did it the right way, kept it clean, did tons of years in kickboxing, couple years in boxing, extremely high level striker, and now his grappling is matched up to that. If I had to put a finish on it, I would say probably third round. Izzy would take him out, just hitting him with some good right lefts, probably maybe a left or right high kick, because he's really good at that question mark kick, sneaking it in. Blachowicz just probably just gets a little too overzealous because he can't catch him, and gets clipped by a nice strong shot, because Izzy's not a big puncher. He's a sharp puncher. Similar to a Floyd, except he's not he's obviously not as not seen as like a soft puncher as